Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be presenting how to import data from PDF files. I will be mentioning also what to look out for because PDF files can be tricky, and I will use two ways to do it. Firstly, this is already imported data, and as you can see here, I did not change my currency. This will be mitigated in this training session. And now I will show how to simply import only one file. We'll go here, data, get data from file and from PDF. Now we will choose our PDF and this menu pop-ups. I need to choose this, select multiple items, to be able to select what I want. If I go here, I see that this is table 1, this is table 2, but there is something wrong because this should be a name. When I go here to my PDF file and I will open this with web browser, and when I zoom in, it's clear that this ID is a second column and my first name is another column. So this shows me that this data needs some attention after the import. When I go to my page, I will see something a bit different, that my first table has the ID column but no data in it, and my first name is merged with this number. When I go to my page 2, I will see that the number is already merged with the name. So this, in this case, tells me that it will be much easier to use the tables instead of using the pages. And this is one of the issues that you might find while working with PDFs. Now we need to select our tables and go to transform data. We are here and our data is already imported. Also, I have two tables, this one for my first page and this one for my second page. I need to combine them together. I can do it using append queries, which is a function that will simply put one table under the other, and here I will choose table 002, page 2 of 2. Now if I go to the bottom, this one has only 100 rows, so it's not an issue. It says 101, while I know from opening the file that this data should have only 100 rows. So this is also one thing that you need to look out for, because when importing PDF files, you will see usually that the headers of the tables are usually your first row in your dataset. This can be very easily mitigated by going here and use first row as header. And it is done. Now, for the issue with the index numerator here, we will right click here, split column digit to non-digit, and it is done. Now I can transform this into whole number. But here I also need to perform other action, which is transform and trim. This is because when I imported this, the number with the name was merged with a space character, which means that there is one single space before the name after the split, and I need to get rid of it. And now I need to change my name. Instead of first name.2, I want simple first name. and instead of first name.1, I want to name this index. And now, since I already have 100 rows for this file, I can go here, close and load to, new worksheet, table, OK, and Excel imported both tables, page 2 and our appended query here. This is something we don't need, so we can simply delete this. And this is our result with 100 rows. Now stay tuned, because about this column I will be talking at the end. But this solution, however great it is, it only will work with 1 or 2 PDF files, or with a big PDF file that it's not complicated to combine. But if you've got multiple PDFs, let's say more than 5, because for me 5 PDFs it's already a lot, and it's easier to import them in bulk. So we will go here, press left Alt, A, P, N, F, and F to use the from file function. I'm going into the folder I want to import my PDF files from, and open. Now, as you can see, in this folder there is a lot of junk, so we need to clear this up. Not to mention that we need to import the data properly. So for this, because of I know how my files are named, I will go to text filters, begins with PDF hash, because the more input you provide, the better. And now press simply OK. And I'm filtered into PDF files only. This step will be different for you, because your files might not be named in similar conviction, which means that you need to either select them manually, or you need to put more filters into the table, maybe by date, or by extension, or by whatever else you need it. Now we will need the file name, we will need the content, so I'm marking both, and I will choose to remove other columns. Now we need this binary to be transformed into a table object in Excel, and let's go with the easy option first, which is go to here, custom column, PDF tables, open parenthesis, open square brackets, choose content with the binary content, close the parenthesis, and close the OK button. It created another column with the data that we need. Now we need to do another step, which is click here, remove other columns, press here, unmark this. You don't want this for 99% of cases, because this will simply add custom as prefix to each column here, which will make your work a bit harder. And now remember the simple PDF import we had for tables. We could import 2 of them were pages and 2 of them were tables. And because of that, I already know that each table object will be easier to work with, instead that the table from the pages, which here has the column and here it doesn't. With the table object from the table object, it does not have this issue, which means it's easier to work with. So we can either choose specific names from here, or if you are sure that your data is correct, you can choose the object from here. Sometimes working with PDFs, it might be required to choose combination of tables and pages. Now I do have every single data from all 3 files, because each file has 100 rows, so I know this is correct. And here I only see 20 rows because this is only a preview. So don't be discouraged by this view, and if you want to ensure that your data is imported correctly at this stage, you can simply click on the table here. This will simply move you to this object and you can check if your data is correct. Here I see it's 91 rows and I wonder why that is. So at this stage what I can do is to create a new query, other query, blank query, equal sign, table dot row count. I'm gonna open parentheses, some folder 3 in brackets, and it still says 91. So this tells me that this has 91 rows in its table. This is simple check that you can perform if you are unsure if your Power Query shows the right data or not. But because I have 2 pages and not 1, I know there is something missing. So I'm gonna delete this step, go back. Here is my 91 rows, and if I go here, it is my 9 missing rows. So everything is okay. Now what I need is to combine those files, which I can simply do by pressing this button. And as I shown before, I'm not using use all original column names as prefix. Now the column currently marked are the ones from the imported file. Everything else is repeated row for every row of data from the previous step. And yes, I want to save this column. Also, please look at this function here. It says table expand table column, and now because of this I have a first list, the columns I want to expand, and the next one is the list of columns renamed. Here it's basically the same, but if I wanted to, I could change this to something different. Let's say ABC. If I do this, here you can see the column name change. So this is a way to more automatically change your names. But now let's simply remove other columns, and now we have everything we need. My file name went to the back here as name because of the reasons that I already explained. Here is my name, first name to be exact. And now I need to split my column, just like I did it before. But this time there is no need for trimming the column because the digit was touching the letter from the name. So there was no space between and there was no risk to it. Now, as you can see, I can simply go to my formula bar and I can change this to first name, or actually this is the first column, so this should be LP, and this should be name, first name, When I click, it will change. It has changed. Now I need to use first row as header to move the header up from this file to my header row. I did this in this specific order because append queries works in very specific manner, and what we did is very similar to appending, which means that if we have different column names, they will be imported as separate columns and they won't be appended as they should be. And now I need to do this change again. Here is my order per file, and here is my first name. Yes, I know, I did it twice just to show there are multiple ways to do simple thing. And now we should have 300 rows, but we won't have. We have 302 rows. Feel free to pause here and figure out why that is. I will only tell that this is because we imported 3 files and we moved only one header line to use as our header. So, as you might already guessed, this is because in our dataset we have header names for the 2 files. So we need to find them, and they are here at the bottom. And now if we go here, one more thing, you can see that this is sorted weirdly because it's 1, 10, 100, then it goes to the 20, to the 2, 20, and so on. This is because this column currently is a text. And sometimes using this as a text is okay, sometimes it's not. To change, let's click on the ABC and let's choose the whole number. Now this is a number. And as I mentioned, I'm showing the last thing here, which is how to do the currency conversion. Because I'm in Poland and I use different currency than US dollars, I will get an error when I simply use the currency. So this is not the way to do it. I can also try using this as the whole number, but I'm getting an error again. Depending on your country and on your Excel settings, and if you have custom data types or if you have custom languages installed, this might work for you. But if not, don't worry, there is last option, which is using locale. Here I want to convert to currency and I want to use English United States. And when I press OK, it's been converted. This is the easy way to do it, but sometimes even this doesn't work if your data format is extremely weird or has unconventional characters in them that Excel cannot recognize for some reason. So, to do it differently, we can go here. We can go to replace values and we want to replace $sign with nothing. And as you can see, it's been converted. Now, do we have anything larger than 1,000? We don't need much, we just need one value, but we don't have, so okay, no worries. I was worried about 1,000 separator. Now I can go here and simply choose the currency. And now it's converted into the currency. And whatever way you used, either by removing the $sign or by using locale, now this data is set up correctly, and if this is everything you needed to do, you can simply close and load to new worksheet for this case, and we are done. Now, to check if everything worked, mainly if the currency transformation worked, we can mark any number of cells, this doesn't matter, and we will go here to see if this is summarizing. It is, which tells me that this is actually some value. So this is how to import multiple files into Excel.rpdfs. I hope you enjoyed, and if you liked this, I hope you know what you must do. Thank you very much, and until next training. Thank you and good luck.